Hey guys, I've had a really tough time the past few weeks, and especially the most recent days. I've gone from shaking and being angry to just being upset and hyperventilating for like the first time in my life. I mean, I play in front of 5,000 person crowds, and I've never been this nervous or rattled, but um, I really need your help today. And maybe for the next few weeks, I don't know, but I just need your help today. And I want to tell you about the situation that's happening. So here it goes. I'm going to try to read it off. I might end up just spitballing some of it, but I wrote this letter, and I'm going to give you the cliff notes first, and then I'm going to get into the details. And if you want to keep watching, that's great. But the most important thing that you can do right now is just to send an email, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. So, the city of Hermosa Beach is starting to enforce a law that could essentially kill beach volleyball. We can stop this, but we definitely need your help. The Code Enforcement Department has recently began handing out citations to coaches and instructors like me who conduct what they call commercial activity on the Strand and Hermosa Beach. Commercial activity includes both teaching and receiving paid instruction from coaches. And we all know, if you've played in the AVP or you have coached or you've been coached in Hermosa, and they are right now targeting me, I guess, because we've done it successfully and because so many people have really loved our program. But if they enforce this the way that they're saying they can and the way that they're saying they're going to, it would mean that you're not going to be able to get coached from one coach more than 4 hours a week. So, beach volleyball players and fitness enthusiasts of all pursuits have always been able to take classes and get lessons from trainers of their choice. However, Hermosa Beach has made the decision to arbitrarily and severely limit coaching hours and locations. Their office is also complaint based, which means that there's someone who wants to get rid of volleyball coaching in Hermosa Beach. Someone has a problem with teaching and learning the sport. The enforcement of this law would essentially eliminate the coaching profession in Hermosa Beach. It would mean that the city gets entire control over who can coach you. If you're a player, the city will control who can coach you and how many hours that they can do that. If you eliminate the possibility, it would eliminate the possibility of starting a beach volleyball club because they limit you to only 4 hours. You cannot coach effectively, and no one can learn the sport in just 4 hours a week. It would mean that every professional beach volleyball practice would be deemed illegal if you have a coach, or we don't know the rules because we're not getting answers to the emails. But if you're training to be a professional athlete, is that a commercial activity? If you're a CrossFit athlete and you're sprinting on the beach, is that a commercial activity? Because you eventually get paid for that activity. The same with coaching. So we're trying to get answers on that. If you think this is wrong or it's unconstitutional and completely against the Hermosa Beach lifestyle, which has given so much to beach volleyball, and beach volleyball has given so much to the city, if you think this is wrong, you can stop this. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this, but right now, today, please, 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 the best thing that you can do, and we were told this by a city council member, a commissioner of the Department of Parks and Rec, send an email to every member of the city council and the Department of Parks and Recreation. I'm going to attach this in all the comments. I'm going to attach it below wherever you're seeing this. But whether you live locally or you only visit once a year to play volleyball, the enforcement of these codes will mean that you cannot legally be coached or train for a beach volleyball event in Hermosa Beach. Well, you can't receive coaching to do that, and there can be zero compensation, right? So if you want to receive coaching legally for maybe more than 4 hours a week, or that coach might have other people to coach, then they can't do it legally and they can't help you. So this has to be stopped. Send an email to all the people that I'm attaching and say, I want coaches to have the freedom to coach as many hours as they want, and beach volleyball players should be able to train with their coaches on all the courts in Hermosa Beach. It shouldn't be illegal for a coach to coach for more than 4 hours. It absolutely just should not, especially in the beach volleyball capital of the world. So please go and send an email. I'm attaching it below, but I'm going to go on from here with this video. This affects my entire living. It's my livelihood, and I've been talking with my mom, and I've been talking with some close friends, but like, this is the one day where I get to see, it's a gut check moment. I get to see if doing things the right way by people for 5 years and really like changing lives and being positive, and no matter what, like giving refunds, giving discounts, helping people out, giving free classes. If all of the energy that I've given to the world and all of the free coaching that I've given to the world can just pay off in one email sent to the city council to know that it's not okay to limit somebody to 4 hours of coaching and limit where they can coach and when they coach, and then it's also not okay to tell them that they cannot coach during the summer. It's awful what's happening, and they are trying to rip out a great program that we've built, and they're trying to prevent us from coaching, and if they do, then they can prevent anybody from coaching, and it just can't be. So no harm can come to you from sending an email. You're only asking for a change from a city council member. You're not going to be wrapped up in anything. The city, you're sending an email to a public official saying that you think that this should change. It doesn't matter if you're a Hermosa resident or a Redondo resident or a resident of Germany. You need to send an email because they need to see how positive our program is and how much you believe that coaching in beach volleyball should still live and thrive in Hermosa Beach, which we know is the capital of beach volleyball in the world. So if you do not send an email or make a phone call and the enforcement of this code continues, you will not be legally permitted to coach or receive coaching as many hours as you want or get that coach to be available. You won't be able to do that because the limitations and legal threats placed on anyone who wishes to coach volleyball for more than 4 hours per week. I've made it easy for you, and I have also got some templates, so if you want to know what to say, I can attach some links to templates, and that's what you should do. So you can just copy the templates. I'm gonna just attach some Google links, and if you don't know what to say, you can't find the words, but you know that this is wrong, you can use those. But the most important things for you to say is how much VolleyCamp Hermosa has benefited you, how much money for us, how much money you spend on your way to or from beach volleyball classes. It's nice if you include VolleyCamp Hermosa, but it's totally cool if you go to Sigler's class, if you go to Dennis Collins' class, if you train with Chris Austin, Bill Kalinsky, Evie Matthews, if you train with any of the Olympians that have given coaching and are still giving coaching in Hermosa Beach, please send that email and just let them know how much money you spend on your way to and from any of those classes or private lessons that you might take. And if you are from out of town and you come to our hotels, please detail how much money you spend. And if you're a VolleyCamp Hermosa camper, tell Hermosa City how much money that you spent in Hermosa Beach, because our camps, we know for a fact, have given tens of thousands and most likely hundreds of thousands of dollars to Hermosa Beach from their tourism department, their hotels, their restaurants, Mickey's Deli, Tammy's when it was around, Serve on Second when it was around, American Junkies, Tower 12. All of these places where we bring you to have fun and enjoy the community, this is important because usually it comes down to money, and if the city can see how much it profits from beach volleyball and from beach volleyball coaches and training and a great positive program, then they should be smart enough to just back off and say, okay, you are allowed to coach more than 4 hours, so here you go. All right, so I'll send those emails, and if you just want to write a very simple email, here's what you can write. So if you want that pen or you want to text it, here's what you can write. I want coaches to have the freedom to coach as many hours as they want, and beach volleyball players should be able to train with their coaches on all courts in Hermosa Beach. I will send as many emails and make as many phone calls as it takes. I'll say that one more time. I want coaches to have the freedom to coach as many hours as they want, and beach volleyball players should be able to train with their coaches on all courts in Hermosa Beach. I will send as many emails and make as many phone calls as it takes. So you can use that if you want. Again, I'm attaching all those emails below, but this is, I spent, I've spent the last few weeks doing this. Of course, I've spent the last 5 years of my life doing this. I've lost sleep, but I know in my heart that I've done it the right way, and I know that I've given to everyone, and I've given to the local businesses, and I've created partnerships that help small businesses and help the city. And this permit thing is just ridiculously limiting. So here's the letter that I wrote, but if you don't have time for it, I totally understand. I just need you to send that email. Please send that email so that VolleyCamp Hermosa can continue, and so that beach volleyball coaching in Hermosa Beach is still sustainable. What are all of the pros who want to teach the game going to do when they're done playing? What are all of the current AVP players who give private lessons and share the game? How are they going to continue being professional beach volleyball players if they can't even support themselves? Okay, so here we go. Thanks for listening if you're here. I want to start this letter by saying thank you. For the last 5 years of my life, on January 1st, 2015, I came to Hermosa Beach, California. I started a company that would fill a void. I wanted to create a camp. I wanted to create a sort of volleyball hostel where players from around the world could come to pursue their volleyball dreams. I lost my page. Sorry, guys. I know what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to pursue their volleyball dreams and get better every day. I've always known how hard it was for an adult to find high quality training. It's really hard for an adult to find high quality training for somebody who focuses their times on grown-ups, and it's not even easy for juniors everywhere in the world. All right, but prior to 2015, it was, and with the exception of our company, it still is very difficult to find coaches who can cater to players from the beginner level all the way up to the World Tour level. It's really rare to find that, and to find someone capable and willing to do that, and that's what we do. So hunting down a coach you can trust who has been in the arena at the highest level is beyond difficult. Finding someone both capable and dedicated enough to help beach volleyball players is next to impossible. I wanted to make this not only possible, but easy. I've been through that pain in my career, and I want to give the next generation the opportunities that mine didn't have. I want to make it easy on them to find good, high-quality coaching. I know volleyball is easy to find in Southern California, but the process of moving here or finding a place to stay is truly a daunting task. No one is willing to hold your hand through that process. I created VolleyCamp Hermosa to do that. One click and you get to stay in a house or a hotel with other volleyball players so you can create immediate and lasting friendships. And man, we've succeeded at that. We have created such a family that I never knew so many people from so many different places could be so tight and love each other and support each other in a positive way just through the sport. But every day I receive messages from people telling me that they are coming to Hermosa Beach and they want connections with players here. Connections. Every single day for the last 5 years, I've connected them. I'm helping people find other beach volleyball players, and you can come to our city and spend money in our hotels and spend money in our restaurants and spend money at our bars or whatever you want to do, but you can come here and support the mecca of beach volleyball, and I make it easy for you to find other players at your level. I think that's invaluable. So back then, when we started, I wanted to create a place in Hermosa Beach where volleyball players locally and from around the world would have a home, a coach, and training partners, and all in one easy click. If you've ever tried to get on a volleyball court with other people in Southern California, you know firsthand how cutthroat it can be, right? Just to ask people to let you play is, again, I want to use the word daunting. I remember coming to San Diego and trying to do that myself. And it was not easy because you literally just end up serving one ball alone and nobody wants to play with you. But it's pretty cutthroat just to ask somebody to play, and usually you get turned down because people, they have their foursome and they have 6 players and they don't know how good you are and they don't want to spend their only free time. They've worked hard. They don't want to spend their only free time catering to somebody who they don't know if they can play, and they want to hang out with their friends, and there are limited courts to do so. So anyway, I wanted to eliminate that, and I wanted to build a community of players striving for next levels, and I wanted to build a community that held its arms wide open for all players, all ages, all levels, from all parts of the world. These arms have been held wide open for 5 years, and VolleyCamp Hermosa has been my passion. It's given more meaning to my life than I ever thought I could get from coaching. We've hosted players from over 40 countries. We've trained people who have never played the sport and can barely catch a ball, and we've trained world tour athletes. We've trained European champions. We've trained with European champions as well. We have given fans and players a gateway into the volleyball life and training methods that kind of just used to be secrets. We've shown young people and hungry athletes everywhere what it takes to be great, and hopefully we've inspired them to follow that path, and we strive every day to try to get people to follow a path of greatness and to believe in themselves and to do it in a positive way. If you've ever been to one of our classes, you know that all we do is build, and support. And we train our coaches and we teach our coaches that this is the way that we should do it, in a positive way that builds people. And it's very rare to find somebody who's actually capable of building so many people at different levels at the same time. So I think we've done that really successfully, and we want to continue doing that. We've been the open arms for visits to California, for first visits to California. Many of the players who attended our camps ended up moving here after their first initial experience with us. We throw holiday parties, we throw community events, and we build relationships for people from all walks of life. And often, they don't have anyone else to spend those times with. That's important. Those people don't have anyone else to spend their times with. If you move here, you're away from your family, you're away from your friends, or maybe you've just lived here and it's hard to make friends as an adult, right? It is, but we've seen our players through those ups and downs of life. We've seen them through personal tragedies, great victories, joys, sorrows, and we as a family have been there for them every step of the way. Our coaches and players have laughed and cried together. And for many players, myself included, VolleyCamp, for a portion of their lives and my life, was the only positive thing that we could hold on to when everything else in our lives is wrong. Yeah. Coaching has probably saved my life in a lot of ways, and I think some of our players can agree that beach volleyball has saved their lives in a lot of ways too. So I don't want this program to leave. I think it's too important. We're a positive, healthy, supportive athletic haven. Anyway, moving on. So 3 years ago, our coaching methods became so popular that local residents implored us to start hosting regular classes. Local residents told us, hey, can you start more classes? Not knowing if it would work and investing a lot, we started it, and then our family just started growing and growing. We now have a youth program where parents can trust that their kids are taken care of and are having fun. We have a league where players can come to enjoy the game and compete. We have volleyball classes daily. We have private lessons. We have film sessions. We've successfully provided a place where anyone in our town can get on a court and actually learn the game every single day. This is especially crucial on the weekends, when all of the courts are taken by players who usually don't want to let other people on. It's crucial for those people who are searching for training, coaching, and players to play with. At VolleyCamp Hermosa, we provide a place to learn, to enjoy the game, and to meet players from all over the world, period. We provide that every day. The road has not been easy, but we created the family that we always wanted. And while I've personally overworked myself, gone into debt, lost sleep, punished my body, I've done it for years, but I did it because I wanted to do it the right way, and I still believe that there is a place for this company in Southern California. I still believe, because of all of the emails that we receive every day, how much people are looking once they come to Hermosa, once they come to LA, how much they're looking to find some classes that can help them and find people that will play with them. So we all did it. It wasn't just me, but we all created the beach volleyball community that we want. We did it together. We've built lasting relationships with local businesses, and this is huge. Our players bring thousands and thousands of dollars to Mosa, which was formerly Serve on Second, formerly Tammy's, the Pacific Rim Cafe, Mickey's Deli, all of who, if we have to move to the pier from 2nd Street, those businesses are going to lose tens of thousands of dollars every year. We built relationships and we held on to them and we supported them because we have friends who own those businesses and we know how tough it is to run businesses. We've supported them and we bring people to them. Those businesses on 2nd Street, 1st Street, 3rd Street, they're going to lose tens of thousands if we can't run our classes there. And that's unfair. We've also supported American Junkie, Tower 12, Silvio's, Waterman's, Underground, F45, Ready Fit Go, Julie Keene Nutrition, Beach Cities Yoga, the Surf City Hostel, and the Quality Inn Suites. All of these businesses have been direct beneficiaries of our program. And that means that Hermosa City has been a direct beneficiary of our program. We steer people and take people to the places we love and help local small businesses grow because we know how tough it is to be a small business. We also do it because we've always wanted to give our players something more, something great. I think that when you're part of a group or a part of a community, you should feel special. You should feel privileged. It feels good when you go in with a player's card. It feels good when you're wearing a shirt and it means that you can get a discount somewhere. You feel important, and man, it's crucial to feel important in your life. And so we've always wanted to show our appreciation for local businesses and show our appreciation to the players by saying, look, we've spent hours of our time with other businesses, meeting with them and saying, this is what we can do for you players. We can get you a discount at a place that serves great food. We can get you a free drink if you need it. And we're doing that and we're supporting each other. And sorry guys, but it's just wrong to annihilate a program that's doing all of this for all of these businesses and all of these people and helping everybody and giving no negative to anybody while we bring in so much money to Hermosa Beach and we speak so positively of it for 5 years and for before that. That's why I moved here, and that's why people are still moving here just for beach volleyball, just to learn, just become great at the sport. Anyway, sorry. I personally have maintained the public courts at 2nd Street for 5 years. I have removed rusty nails. I've fixed, bought, and replaced nets. I dug 5 by 15 foot holes that allow 3 of those volleyball nets to stand between 2nd and 3rd Street. I've bought and sewn lines. I've cleaned the courts when others threw party and others left trash. Others threw parties and others left trash. I have never asked the city to spend money on this. I did that myself with my money for all of the players in Hermosa Beach. We use the courts when we use them. We invite everybody there, and when we don't, everybody gets to use the courts that I maintained with my money. That's more proof that, that's more personal proof that I'm doing this for the community. Okay, anyway, there are certain officials in Hermosa Beach who are trying to tear apart, this is where the letter's supposed to turn emotionally, by the way. There are certain officials in Hermosa Beach trying to tear our community apart in favor of outdated and misplaced codes. These codes have no application to our sport or the positive influence that we've had on the community. They are trying to take something that we love from us, and they're trying to annihilate our family. Anyone can see that athletes, personal trainers, yoga instructors, surf instructors, life coaches, volleyball coaches, and business people all work on the Strand every day without consequence or hindrance. I personally know more than 50 people have given lessons on the public beach in Hermosa. I know that the 100% of the AVP has taken lessons from a coach and paid that coach, and I know that 90% of the AVP has given lessons or coached somewhere in Hermosa. We do it because we love the game, not because we're trying to hurt anybody. We do it because we're supporting people. And yeah, we're supporting ourselves. We're trying to eat while pursuing beach volleyball. That's why I started the company. And I started the company to make it easy, and I just needed to be able to eat while I played beach volleyball, and it's just grown into something so much more. So I've done with my company exactly as everyone else has done. I've coached on the beach without a permit because it's obvious that no coaches or other companies need one. No other coaches, AVP players, professional players, anybody, nobody has ever mentioned the need for a permit, and no other coaches have been cited for this. So I don't understand why this is happening. It's not like we're bringing hundreds of people to the beach. It's not like we're bringing up banners and setting up giant tents that have advertisements or anything like that. We're just coaching on 2 courts, occasionally 2 courts, usually 1. We've never held the courts on 2nd Street as private. We've woken up early for 5 years to do it the right way and adhere to the first come, first serve basis so that all of our players have a court to learn on instead of having 4 people hog a court for 5 hours, which happens on every weekend day. We have never removed a player or forced them to leave our courts. We have always worked with others and invited them into our groups to share our space, or found the best way to work around with them so that everybody could play. 3 years ago, the city approached me because someone complained that we were teaching on the beach and said that I needed a Hermosa Beach business license and a permit to do so. So that was 3 years ago, and I did it. I applied, I received the permit, and then the things that they started telling me were just completely off, and something's just completely wrong with the system. And let me tell you why. Number 1, these codes are selectively enforced. Selectively, meaning they choose who they want to go attack, which is unequal enforcement of the law, and I'm pretty sure that that's illegal. All day, every day, anyone can see someone teaching or leading exercises on the beach, and I don't have a problem with that. I think that's great. I think it's healthy for the community. I've never once been witness to the enforcement of this code except when it's come to our classes and the classes next to us who are taking 7 courts at one time for a lot of hours. The fitness instruction permit only allows 1 single person. This is crucial. The fitness instruction permit only allows 1 single person a maximum of 4 hours a week. This means that if you love learning beach volleyball from a certain coach, the city mandates that you only have 4 hours a week to do so. And that coach has a maximum coaching allowance of 4 hours. So if you want 2 hours from a coach and somebody else wants 2 hours from a coach, neither of you can get any more than that, and nobody else can get any more hours. So I can run 2 practices a week, and then I cannot teach anybody else. That's crazy. 3, if I personally am not coaching, no one else can take my place. So under that permit, if I'm not coaching, if people pay money wanting to learn from me and I get sick or I need to go back to New York for my family or my players, or I can't be there, my players cannot learn from another person. and they cannot have that time made up. This to me, like, absolutely makes no sense. If the time on the courts is paid for, then why does it matter who leads the training? I was trying to find a metaphor here. Like, if you're sitting at dinner and you bought a meal, but you're like, oh man, I gotta go because my wife's in the hospital. The restaurant goes and tells the person you were sitting with, sorry, you're not allowed to eat that meal. I know he paid for it, but you're not allowed to eat that meal. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. That 100% needs to change. Okay. 4, the permit grants instructors entire rows of volleyball courts. So in the commercial zone between Pier Avenue, between 10th and 16th, there are rows of volleyball courts. It's between 2 and 4 courts. But the permit only allows a maximum of 10 students. So in other words, I can use 4 volleyball courts, but I can only have 10 players at one time. So if you're a high school indoor coach in Hermosa or Redondo and you want to use the courts, but you want to train your indoor team on the beach twice a week, which happens all the time, only 10 of your players can legally participate. You can get the permit so that you can train your high school indoor team on the beach, but only 10 of the players get to go. So not only is this code misplaced in terms of volleyball, but its design means that the courts are open but not usable. It means that I can have 4 courts and I can have my 8 players and I can tell all the other people trying to play in the other 3 courts, sorry, those are permitted by me. I know, tell me about it, the rules, right? But that doesn't make any sense again. So that just shows that the codes were made or created and they didn't understand all of the applications, and it doesn't make any sense for beach volleyball. So somebody made the rules, didn't realize kind of what would happen for other sports or other activities. Maybe they were made for surfing, where like you have to keep an eye on a maximum of 10 people so that nobody drowns. Maybe they were made with kids in mind, so that so you can't lose a kid. But there's already proof that other classes, like Sigler's classes and Dennis Collins' classes, they have way more players than that per coach. So it's not like it's illegal or an insurance thing. It's just applying to this permit, which means that the permit needs to change. Now, these permits are null and void if the city decides that a special event needs to be run on the permitted courts. So for most of the summer, concerts, tournaments, and events take over the courts. If you live in Hermosa, you know that. If you've ever come to Hermosa for beach volleyball, you can see during the summer that, the pier is just surrounded by courts. So if you want to train or teach or learn from a coach during that time, you have 0 options because of the current law. If you want to learn beach volleyball in July, you have no options, because throughout July, the city invites thousands of players from the other cities and the other parts of the world to Hermosa Beach for tournaments. Then the city tells its local coaches and players that they cannot train during that time, because that would be a commercial activity. If you're a club player or you're a club coach, that coaching activity is illegal during July, when it is the most important time for all of our athletes, all of our clubs, and all of our coaches. We invite thousands of players to compete against our residents, and then we rip out